What if a secret test session at Mugello sparked a major storm within Ferrari? Out of the spotlight and away from the media frenzy, Lewis Hamilton quietly ignited a new flame of hope in the Prancing Horse team's garage. Disguised as a filming day, the session turned out to be a crucial turning point in the SF25 project that could turn Ferrari's fortunes around for the 2025 Formula One season. Why could a secret test at Mugello cause such an uproar within Ferrari? Let's discuss. It all started with a session scheduled as a filming day at the Mugello circuit, routine procedure permitted by F1 regulations, allowing a maximum of 200 kilometers and requiring the use of demonstration tires. But behind the routine, Ferrari had a hidden mission. In the morning, they brought out the SF23 to collect comparison data. After lunch, however, the atmosphere changed drastically when the SF25 emerged from the garage with significant updates, particularly to the rear of the car. Behind the wheel was Lewis Hamilton. There was no live broadcast, no journalists were present. Only Hamilton, the telemetry data, and the technical team were glued to the screens. That's when the story took a remarkable turn. As soon as Hamilton started his first lap, Ferrari's engineers were stunned. The data wasn't just good, it was too good. In tricky corners like Arrabbiata 2, Hamilton went 6 to 7 kilometers per hour faster than the previous SF25 data. Surprisingly, this speed wasn't accompanied by excessive wear on the car's undercarriage. The floorboards, which typically wear down due to friction, showed almost no signs of extreme stress. Even more surprising was the vertical movement of the rear axle, which normally shifts up to 4 millimeters, but now shifted only 1.4 millimeters, demonstrating remarkable stability. Even the brake temperature remained nearly constant, fluctuating only 12 degrees in, almost impossible feat with demo tires. After verifying the data, everyone focused on one major change: the new rear suspension. Ferrari had reportedly switched from a pushrod system to a pull rod system, a design long used by Red Bull. This wasn't just an experiment, but rather a complete redesign. The key was the position of the upper wishbone, or kneecap, which was moved closer to the engine crankcase. The result was a much more linear vertical response, reduced vibration, and improved air stability under the car. This generated a more effective floor, providing high downforce without sacrificing grip. Ferrari had been seeking this balance all season. Ferrari had long believed that the root of their cars' performance problems lay in the design of the floor and airflow. After the Austrian Grand Prix, they designed a new floor in hopes of improving the car's stability and grip. However, reality proved otherwise. The real culprit was hidden at the rear of the car, specifically in how it responded to changes in load during braking, acceleration, and on bumpy surfaces. This phenomenon is known as longitudinal rebound, or the bouncing of the rear longitudinal axis due to extreme load transfer. This problem disrupted the car's balance, the driver's rhythm, and drastically accelerated tire degradation. More surprisingly, this phenomenon was undetectable in computer simulations and wind tunnel tests. Ferrari's entire virtual system failed to reproduce real-world dynamic conditions. It wasn't until the team held a private testing session at Mugello, during which the car was pushed to its limits, that the secret was revealed. The spark for this revelation came from one man's data: Lewis Hamilton. He illuminated a major flaw in Ferrari's technical approach. One Ferrari engineer remarked admiringly that Hamilton is more accurate than all their sensors combined. This wasn't mere praise, but an acknowledgement of a rare privilege. Hamilton wasn't just sitting behind the wheel, he was one with the car. He wasn't just a driver, he was a living instrument, capable of instinctively reading the vehicle's dynamics in a way that can't be taught. The way he enters a corner, touches the accelerator mid-corner, or trails the brakes with millimeter-perfect precision is not designed for style or speed alone. Rather, it is designed to reveal something deeper: how the car's suspension works. Under extreme stress, with every movement, Hamilton seems to be communicating with the car, which responds with behavior that the engineers can interpret. The 200-kilometer test, initially considered a mere formality, quickly becomes a goldmine of technical information. Each of Hamilton's inputs becomes a signal, and each steering correction becomes data. The technical team observing from the garage can discern information that they had never seen before in sensor graphs or computer simulations. This is no longer about chasing the fastest time. It's about understanding the soul of the car, and Hamilton is the bridge between the machine and human understanding, behind the euphoria of the promising new data. However, Ferrari's management faces a major dilemma. The initial plan was clear and structured: shift technical and development resources toward the 2026 car and embrace a new era of regulations that will change the Formula One landscape completely. Wind tunnel hours, CFD simulation capacity, and workforce allocation had been planned for the future. However, the situation suddenly changed. The SF25 car, which was previously believed to have reached its performance limits, has shown signs of hidden potential. Data from the latest testing, especially after Lewis Hamilton got involved, gave new hope. However, to unlock that potential, Ferrari would have to shift its focus back to this season's car, which meant that sacrifices for the 2026 project were inevitable. The critical point was this: maintain momentum and chase wins this year, or sacrifice it for long-term investment. Each day delayed in developing the 2026 car could result in a significant lag when the new regulations take effect. In Formula One, falling behind in change could take years to catch up. Team principal Fred Vasseur now finds himself at the most difficult crossroads of his Maranello career. On the one hand, there was a real opportunity to salvage the 2025 season and prove that Ferrari still had it. But, on the other hand, the decision could cost them ground in the coming seasons. Tension grips the Maranello boardroom as the team balances the ambition to pursue current glory with the demands of long-term logic. Although the Mugello test session was held in complete silence and without media scrutiny, the secret could no longer be kept hidden. Rumors began to circulate freely in the paddock. Engineers and discerning journalists began to discuss rumors of the SF25's extraordinary performance with its new suspension configuration and Lewis Hamilton's crucial contribution. Many called it a turning point the day Ferrari finally found its true form. For the Tifosi fans, who had long yearned for the Prancing Horse's revival, this was a glimmer of hope. However, that hope came with a heavy burden. If the SF25 failed to deliver on the performance data emerging from Mugello in the following races, the team would be hit with a wave of merciless criticism. Expectations had been raised, and now Ferrari had no choice but to prove that the leaks were not a mirage. Ferrari was at a critical juncture. What they saw at Mugello could not be ignored. The data was real. The potential was there. But would they dare to take the risk mid-season? Mugello could be a new chapter in Ferrari's revival, or just another what-if in the team's long history. The decision is in their hands, and the clock is ticking. Will Mugello be a turning point in Ferrari's revival, or will it be a tragic tale of prematurely raised hopes? Let us know your thoughts below.